All right, well, I guess we can kind of get into it now. Welcome back, everyone, to what is episode. This will be episode 4 of the Try Hard podcast. You guys have probably heard we have Mike and Seid on today's episode. We don't have any guests. We had Ryan on last week, but today it's just going to be us three, the OG Try Hards. But before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this podcast, the Naperville Acupuncture Center. If you're in the Chicagoland area and are looking to get some dry needling or acupuncture done, I cannot recommend them enough. I've been going to go see Frank and Angela every week for the past couple of months, and they have been key in keeping me healthy and enabling me to elevate my training. As a special offer, if you mention my name or this podcast during your visit, you'll receive a discount on your very first treatment. All right, back to the show. Right. So, yeah, on today's episode, I was thinking we could actually kind of do a little birthday special because it was two of ours birthdays recently. Well, Mike was on what years was the 24th?
23rd, so Friday.
23rd,
Is yours
February
tomorrow?
23rd. Yes,
Your
mine is
tomorrow.
tomorrow, the 27th. So, yeah, and you turned 26?
I turned 26. Yeah.
I turned 25, so I'm finally in the big leagues now. Now you're the only one in the 18 to 24 age group out of us.
I'm in the baby group still.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. I feel like, what do you guys think the most competitive age group is in triathlon? I think it's 30 to 34.
Yeah, it has to be.
I was going to say 25, 29, but I don't know. Maybe that's just because I got wrecked going from 18 to 25, 29.
I think there's a pretty big jump from 18 to 24 to like 25, 29. But then I think 20, like I would say, I'm like still pretty new, but I'd say 29 to 34. There's still like a tiny bit of a jump from that, but not that much. What do you think, Parker?
Yeah, I think there's definitely the jump from 18 to 24 to 25 to 29 is bigger than from 25 to 29 to 30 to 34, but I still do think it is more competitive. And then I think once you get above, I think 35 to 39 is a little less competitive than the 30 to 34.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
But yeah, so today we could talk about I was thinking since it was both our birthdays or two of our birthdays, what we did on birthday. Because I know Mike had some. For those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, my name's Parker, as you guys already heard, and I am a coach with NVDM Triathlon. Mike and Say they're both two of my athletes, and Mike had some pretty fun birthday workouts.
Yeah. Yeah. I planned on taking the day off from work, and then my plans changed around 7:45 a.m. I was supposed to be hopping on the bike after I ate breakfast, and then had to do some work up until about 10 or 11, got on the bike, did 4 hours total. It was like 2.5 hours of aerobic work, which is pretty good, but I think I was a little low on sodium intake, so I was seeing some heart rate drift. And then got on the Alp, or Alpe, as Say,
Healthy.
Alp de Zwift, and I was supposed to climb that at Sweet Spot. And I learned a good lesson. I sent Sade a picture of my bike computer, and it was like 310 watts for the first 10 minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble for this with Parker. But I felt really good. And then
I
I go
told
to
you specifically though before that
Do
you asked
that.
me, I should
I
start
know
out
you.
like 280 and see how you feel.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. I knew what the instructions were. I just decided I feel really good right now, so I'm just gonna try to go out and set a power PR. And then literally 5 minutes later, I had to stop the bike for 2 minutes, and I was like, I don't know if I can even continue this workout anymore. It's so quickly just like dropped off. But did continue the workout. Still ended up pushing good power within the target range, but mentally was a little bit tough. And then later that night was a fun swim. Main set was 13 by 100 at best repeatable effort, then 200 easy pull, and then 13 by 100 at race pace, which I just did at like a Target Ironman race pace. Probably still faster than my Ironman race pace, but it
Oh,
was
that's
good.
why it's always fast. That's why it's called target or goal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always,
Yeah,
if it's
because
not
like
faster than what you actually go, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I figured because I was like, if I go out at like a real Ironman pace, I'm gonna be much slower than I normally would swim. And actually, Ezra and I had a conversation about that. I was like, I think I swim in the pool much faster all the time than I would in like an Ironman. But yeah, just I'm happy though that I swim much faster in the pool right now than I would target an Ironman because it'll just feel much easier. So. Yeah, big day. It was like 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How
And I
about you?
guess we can just if you want to talk about, because you also had a workout Sunday, so I guess we can all just go over what we did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Well, Saturday you had Saturday your non-triathlon birthday festivities, right?
yeah. I did actually run just short 30 minutes, but then yeah, spent the day with Allison and we went to a bookstore, coffee shop, which is like, two of my favorite places to go to. And then
Have you ever been
later,
to Barnes and Noble?
yes, I've been to Barnes and Noble. There's not many of them left. Yes, I've been. And then that night we had a really awesome dinner that was fun. And then Sunday, woke up and I was not feeling great, but had two really good sessions. 26 by 1 minute big gear work on the bike. We are targeting each 1 minute interval around 310 watts, and I averaged like 326 for the duration of them, which was really good. I felt really good once I got on the bike. And then like a 40-minute run off the bike with a couple like 20-second pickups in the middle of it. So yeah, overall great day, really fun weekend.
And the ankle's still feeling good? I know you've been struggling with.
Ankle is feeling good. Yeah, saw a doctor this morning about that, and he said it's like pretty benign. Like it's probably just tendonitis. The X-ray came back negative, no issues. I am gonna do an MRI just to confirm. He's like, there's no harm in doing it. But yeah, things are good. He said just manage your weekly volume and keep doing everything that you're doing right now. So yeah, I think by the end of this week, I'll probably be good to like get back on the normal run volume. And like since we took the volume down and brought it back up, we're like getting up to like the low end of kind of where I was. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Good to hear.
How
Yeah,
about
no,
you? Or
speaking of
partner?
run volume, yeah, I had one of so my birthday's like I said, it's not till tomorrow, so we haven't celebrated yet. But honestly, I one of the best this past week was the third kind of big week in a row for me, and this weekend was one of the biggest weekends I've ever had. I had so Saturday morning I had 4K swim, and it was one of the best swims I've had before since Ironman Florida probably. So I was hitting paces. We had some 100s at the end, and I was closing with like a 109, 108, which is really fast for me. I know that's warm up paces for some of you guys out there, but for me that was very happy to see. And then, and that was at the end of a 27K week. So I hit 27,000 yards in the pool this week, which I was pretty stoked about. And then I had a tough Ironman. It actually wasn't too hard. It was just long. Any bike ride over 4 hours is tough. So it was a 5 hour ride total with some. The first part was 10 by 6 minutes at 275 watts, and then 30-minute interval at 240, 25-minute interval at 245, and then a 20-minute interval at 250. And then the killer was at the end was 15 by 2 minute at 275, but you only had 45 seconds recovery. So it's just enough for the kind of the lactic acid to get out of your legs, and then you're back into it. So I know Seid has something similar, or both of you guys actually have similar workouts coming up this weekend. So that'll be something to look forward to. But then yeah, easy run off Saturday. And then Sunday, I was planning to do a long one outside, but I'm still in Chicago and it's still cold out here, and it was like 30 degrees, and it actually snowed on Friday. So I decided to hop on the treadmill, and I kind of actually came up with my own session. Actually, I came up with it. I think I was watching a GTN video, Global Triathlon Network video, or I don't know. where it was, but anyway, they're talking about 1K or 2K repeats. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And so I ended up doing 2 rounds of 4x2K on the treadmill. But the kicker was it was at different inclines. So I did the first one was at 2%, and then 3%, 4%, 5%. And then I went back down. So then I did 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. And it actually was kind of fun because it went by super quick. Because once you got over really the second 4%, the last three were pretty easy because you're going downhill. So yeah, I was 18 miles total, which put me at 57 miles for the week, which was the most I've ever run. I was actually taking a look back at my Strava training log. The most I've run since the week of 4th of July in 2021. And the reason why I remember that so well is because it was actually that week, my friend and I, we were both interns at Garmin that summer, and he was a runner as well. And we decided to run a marathon on the 4th of July just for fun. And around mile 17 or 18 of that marathon, it wasn't a race or anything. It was just, let's go out and run 26.2 miles. My right IT band started acting up, and I was like, oh, I'll be fine, whatever. So I finished the run, and then the next day I was on crutches. So that pretty much put me out for 2 to 3 months of running. I couldn't run at all. But it was actually also that run that got me started into triathlon because I stopped running. So I started biking on the trainer, started swimming a bit. And so that's how I kind of started triathlon. So just kind of yeah, it's almost like a full circle. I wrapped up one of my biggest training weeks ever, and I think that week back in 2021 I ran 56.5 miles, and so I ran 57.1 miles last week, and thankfully I don't plan on taking another 3 months off of running though, so I'm still healthy.
IT band feels good.
Yeah, no, IT event feels good, and yeah, calf feels good, and I really do think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've been doing quite a bit of running on the treadmill this winter, which has helped too. But then yeah, going to getting dry needling and acupuncture done every week, that has been game changing for sure.
And your mobile board. Don't forget about that.
Can't forget about the mobile board. No, I still use it daily. Yeah. Before and after every run. It's actually cool you say that because I was actually looking at because I wear the Garmin HRM Pro Plus, and so I get the ground contact time balance.
Yeah.
And since I've been using that, my ground contact time balance has pretty much gotten almost perfectly to 50-50 left right. Before it used to be I'd always favor I think my left foot a bit more. So I'd be like 48 or 52. No, yeah, 52, 48. But ever since starting to use that, I'm much more consistently like the worst I've seen it now is like 50.5% and 49.5%.
Nice. Do you strive for like a specific cadence on some of like I know we do like the Kenyan shuffle runs where
Yeah.
you have like a little higher cadence, but do you pay attention to your cadence much or
Not really. I'll take a look at it every once in a while, but I know naturally I'm between like 170 and 180. So yeah, no, I don't pay too much attention. I used to pay a bit more attention to it, but honestly, I don't unless you're around like 150 to 160, I think you're fine.
yeah. I before we hop to side, I was just gonna say, yeah, that's one thing that with PT with my ankle, they were like, yeah, we should try to get your cadence up because
Hmm.
like my tendency is like a little bit longer, slower stride. Think like if I were doing like an aerobic easy run, I'm probably if I'm not thinking about it, I'm between like 160 and 164. But I've been trying to get that up. But when I do that, the heart rate kind of goes up with it. So
Yeah,
just doing it on certain runs, and it's helping.
there you go.
Yeah, my cadence, I don't even try to think of it. I feel like mine's always from like one for like a slow run, it's like 155 to 160. And if I'm really trying to like move, it's like it doesn't get over 165. I just really can't. I don't know. I just have like long legs and it just doesn't work for me. I don't know. I do try to get high, but
We
it
gotta
doesn't.
do more. We could remind me. I'll put in some 30-30s on your training peaks. That's a good workout. It's one of my favorite workouts to do on the treadmill. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off at different inclines, and you slowly increase the speed. That really gets the leg moving.
Yeah. Now I only feel like I pick up my cadence on the track, or like whenever I'm like just out and about, it's like it doesn't really ever go above 165. I really like try to get it up too, and it just doesn't happen. But definitely to work on that. So yeah, my Friday was moving on to like my weekend training. My Friday is same as Mike's. I did except I had less. I did 10 best repeatable average in the 200 pull, then 10 race pace. Now that's a pretty brutal workout to me, honestly. I'm just like new to swimming, and like that's just like a tough workout, and it feels great like when you're done with it. And I had an easy run, some hill strides. So I did 10 by 20-second hill strides. That was good. And then Saturday I had a big brick, but I started super late, so I got on my bike at I think 3:45. So that was the hardest part of the brick, starting so late and being on the bike for so long. So it was a 4-hour bike. So it was doing 3, 2, 1 intervals. So I did just pull it up. So 16 by 3 minutes, 18 by 2 minutes, and 20 by one. And I really thought this workout wasn't like bad at all. It was all like big gear. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't honestly, I didn't think this workout was hard at all. Just like as Parker said, just time on saddle. So it was like 4.5 hours. It's pretty good.
Time
Then,
under tension.
yep, exactly. Just time under tension. And then easy shuffle right after. And then yesterday I had a big run, which was fun. So it might like, as I was saying before, coming off of a knee injury, but and that run is finally starting to like feel normal again. So I had 18 miles. So it was supposed to be, let's see what it was. I think it was five warm. Yeah, so it was five easy warm up, then two at like 740s. I ran like 730s, then two easy again, then two at 715, two easy, and then one like push. So that the push one was mile 14. I got like a 640, which I was happy with, and I just closed it out with easy. But I just kept those miles like pretty like relatively close to the race pace, but overall it was really good run. So 18 miles at like an 8:05 pace with pretty like low heart rate. So I'm like finally getting my run back slowly, which feels really good and huge for the confidence.
There we go. Yeah, I'm excited to see. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, we were all supposed to be racing Ironman Texas, but then Mike had to pull out because of the injury he was kind of dealing with. But Seid and I still plan on two on the start line, so it's gonna be exciting to see both of us out there, and we'll see. This will be Seid, your second. I was gonna say your second Ironman, but it's your second
Yeah,
triathlon.
it's my second triathlon, so I'm excited.
What did
There's
you
a chance.
average at Ironman Texas again, or Ironman Florida?
What my finishing time was
No, your for your run pace.
my run pace. Oh, I had a really bad run. So it was I think the split was 3:51, so like an 8:50 pace. Like my training pace, I was like training at 7:30s during the build, and then I just came off the bike and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I held 7:30s for the first four, and I was like, yeah, it's not happening today. And like that's when I like mile four is when I realized like I need a lot more time to train to like do a fast Ironman. I can't just do it 6 months of training.
That's still like really solid though. And your first Ironman, first triathlon, like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was like my second marathon ever. So yeah, it's good. I'm really excited for this for Florida because I think I'm gonna be a lot stronger by the what we have 8 more weeks, Parker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's still plenty of time for improvement, so that's exciting.
I have yet to hear back from Ironman on my transfer, so like maybe I'm going to Texas. I don't know. We'll see. They said 3 business days, which I think was supposed to be Friday or today. If I don't hear back from them by like Wednesday, I'm gonna reach out again and just say like, hey, want to make sure you got my email because that deadline is coming up in 2 weeks to transfer, and you have to have like all of it finished by that point. So,
What
so
was
maybe
what was your first distance for triathlon?
me, it was I was actually thinking about this weekend because I drove by the place where it was. It was a sprint triathlon in Syracuse, New York. Green Lakes Triathlon, hosted by like the local YMCA. And like I had it planned out where I would do that sprint, and then my next one was going to be 70.3 Muscle Man in Geneva, New York. And that race went really well. I think I came in second in my age group and maybe like seventh overall or something like that. I mean, it's not like a deep field, it's a local race, but like I was surprised with the result, and it's pretty
Hmm.
pretty fun. And I was like, huh, the sprint distance isn't so bad. It's painful, but it's fun. But yeah, up until that point, like I was only training for 70.3. So to just like do the sprint was just to like kind of go through the motions.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure my aerobic pace might be right at the same pace I was doing in that 5K.
How the times
That's
have
good.
changed.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to, or Mike, did you get any triathlon stuff for your birthday, or I was thinking we could
Um,
kind of talk about favorite, either not triathlon gear, but triathlon gifts
yeah,
or anything you might have picked up triathlon related for
I
your
did
birthday.
I didn't get anything particularly, I guess, like triathlon specific, although one of the gifts that I got was it's kind of for my ankle. I got a pair of the Vivo barefoot shoes.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. Those are sweet.
Yeah. And I really love them. I like I don't want to wear like anything else right now. Like I wore them to dinner last night. My parents were like, "What are those?" Because they
what
just
are those?
yeah, and my sister looked at me and she's like, "Oh, those totally give me the ick." I was like, took a picture of them, sent them to her friends group chat. It's like nice, but no, I love them. I think they're great. I think you kind of have to maybe like ease into them because it is a big shift to like be walking in like really cushioned like say Nikes to going to like no platform. But um yeah, the doctor today saw them and was like, those are interesting. Like they're like the flattest shoes I've ever seen. I was like, yeah. But the physical therapist that I go to is a big proponent of barefoot like walking or I guess running a little bit. You got to be careful with it, how you get into it. But yeah, they're pretty cool, and I think they're gonna help with building up foot strength, especially in my left foot, like my arch. I needed to work on that. So
You got to get
yeah.
on the cane train with Seid and I.
Mhm,
Get
the
a
cane is
pair of
sweet.
canes.
Okay. What is that?
You never heard of canes? Cane
Mm,
shoes? They're like
no.
Crocs, but
Oh, yes,
They
yes,
look
yes.
like-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. You know what? I see, I think Matt Johnson. Do you know who he is on Instagram?
yeah, yeah.
He kind of hangs out. I see stuff like him and the BPN team will do things together occasionally, but I think he just did a half marathon in Canes, the Austin half
Did he?
marathon.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
think he did.
crazy.
I think he did. I saw some videos over the weekend and he was in BPN's like video about the Austin marathon. Like you could see him in the background.
Well, I don't know if I'd ever run a marathon in them, but they're great. They're like Crocs on steroids. Are super comfy. That I really only wear those around. They're so
You guys both have them?
Yeah, we both have the same color, I think, too.
we do.
Uh,
Maybe I'll have to get a pair. I think Allison is will throw me out of the apartment though if I get another pair of shoes or sneakers or something because they take up all of our space.
oh, do you have any updates on your shoe study, or are you still?
Not yet. I have not done a third day of testing, but I probably will this week. As I'm looking at the schedule now, maybe Thursday. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what day I might squeeze that in. Maybe Sunday if I have time. That might be a good day to do it. I'll just like throw in an extra run if the ankle is feeling good. So how about you? Any triathlon gifts or ideas for
I
gifts?
did. I placed a big feed order. Well, I didn't place it. My mom placed it for me. But I got the what I'm really I got a bunch of gels and some nutrition stuff, which we can talk about in one of the segment coming up here, the gel segment coming up. But what I'm very excited about is the nerd belt. I picked up a nerd belt. I saw Ari Cloud talking about it, and I have the naked belt, and I have another running belt too. The flip belt, I think it's called. And I like the flip belt more than a naked belt. But what I liked about the nerd belt that I saw was it had a place for to hold water, so you don't have to run with the handheld. So that looked pretty interesting. And yeah, I thought I would pick one up and try it out. So if you guys want to hear a review of the nerd belt, then stay tuned. It should be here in a couple of days. So maybe next episode I can talk about it. I'm hoping this Sunday to get outside for a long run, so I'll try it out. And another thing I like about it is that I think it has a zipper in the front, And I noticed that a few times I would run with my GoPro with the naked or the flip belt, and the GoPro actually fell out. And so I'm hoping that with this, I can zip it up and then it won't be falling out anymore.
Now, question for Parker, you and Seid, would you use something like that in a full Ironman? Because like I've only done the 70.3s and I've never really needed a belt to carry any like water because I just would go to the aid stations. But do you ever feel the need to carry extra stuff during an Ironman?
Well, I don't know
You
about what
do.
Sade did, but for every Ironman or every race I've done, I've always raced with a belt just to hold gels and salt. Primarily, actually, the salt tabs because I've always wanted to pop extra salt tabs, and I wanted to try out different gels as well. I didn't mind Morton, but I liked having my own gels, so I'd
Yeah.
always have those. And it wasn't more of a necessity; it was just more of a like a nice to have thing. And I didn't notice or think any downside to it. So I thought, why not? How about you ran with the belt, didn't you
Yeah,
say?
so I do all my training with like the naked belt. So I personally love my naked belt. So I always run with like, so I have a 600 milliliter flask in the back that fits perfectly. So I always have electrolytes in there when I'm running, and then it holds my phone, my keys. And yesterday I think I had 9 gels on me, and that all fit in perfectly. So I really like the naked belt. And then it also has the bib attached, like the attachments for the race. So I had that for the race itself. So for the race, I had my salt tabs, gels, and my flask. But so I had my electrolyte drink like mixed in already and it was water. But since it was sitting out in the sun all day, I got it and it was like warm like electrolytes. I just could not drink that. So for like the next race, I'm gonna have like my flask in the back filled with like probably what? And put 4K or 3K sodium in it, and then just go at the first aid station and put ice water in it so I can actually like, use that because I think that's actually be huge for my next race because I think I didn't really take enough nutrition on the run last time, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna keep my gels and salt. But I really love. I personally love my naked belt. I don't know. I've been only running with it for the past like year and a half, and it's been great for me. That's what I did for the race too.
You could also try putting the water bottle in the freezer the night before. I've never done it, but I know some people
Ooh,
they'll
that's
freeze
smart
it
actually.
and they'll bring it out, yeah, the morning of. But you just have to make sure that it melts in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But you should be, I mean, if you leave it out, especially in Texas in the summer, if you leave it in transition in the morning, you should be fine.
yeah. I'm definitely not doing room temperature again though, because like I got it at Florida, I was like boiling electrolytes, and I was like, this is the last thing I want to drink right now. It was horrible.
Yeah, I gotta look into getting a belt. So I'm excited to hear like your thoughts maybe 2, 3 weeks from now, Parker, after using the nerd belt versus the naked more and seeing like which one you like. But yeah, in my last two 70.3s, I did something different, mainly because I was under fueling in the beginning of the season pretty bad and it caught up to me in some races. So I was carrying the precision fuel and hydration like flask, the like flimsy one. And like I would grab that in transition and I would just run with that for like the first probably 6, 7 miles and then just throw it away at an aid station. I mean, they're not that expensive. But I would have like my own electrolyte mix, usually precision fuel and hydration in there. And that was very helpful. Like, because when you run through the aid stations, even in a 70.3, like I feel like you're just not going to be able to get enough electrolytes from like the Gatorade. And like if you miss a cup or you drop one, like I found a lot of the time the Gatorade would end up like in my eyes more so than it would in my mouth. And I would always try to like grab a Gatorade, drink that, and then maybe like splash myself with the water. And I've had numerous times where I've splashed my Gatorade and drank the water. So
Wait, so Mike, how strong did you make your precision drink with that flask? Because those flasks aren't
I
that big, or like how big are they?
they're probably
It's like
500 milliliters.
500 millilers.
Yeah,
And
probably
how,
500 milliliters, and I would use usually just the 1500 pH 1500 I think it was, which is
okay.
only like 750 milligrams of sodium, but I think like there's like magnesium and potassium in there
Yeah,
as
there
well.
is. Did you ever
I
try
found
like, the drink mix itself, the carbs too, mixed in like carbs and electrolytes, or you haven't tried that?
I didn't start using that until after my race season.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
So I was using like Morton and then just electrolyte in my bottles. Like I would have one or two that was dedicated to just Morton, and then I would have gels, and then the other bottle or two would just have electrolytes.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah, I've been thinking about how to get my bike set up for the Ironman because I would ride with a BTA bottle in the front, and then I would have an Aero bottle on the down tube, one bottle in the rear, and then I have the hydration bladder that's built into my bike. So I would have technically four bottles, and I would in a 70.3, I'd never stopped at aid stations. I usually didn't even finish the four. I was aiming to finish four bottles worth, but I never did. I just couldn't drink that much.
mhm.
Um, but in an Ironman, I know I'll need to, so I switched up the behind the saddle mount, and I've got it like yours in the background there, Seid, where I've got
Double.
the side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that'll be enough, and then I'll probably grab one bottle at an aid station.
Mhm.
But speaking of carb mixes and stuff, I think by the time we launch this podcast, the raw endurance mix will be available to everyone out there. So if you guys want to try it out, Raw just came out with a brand new endurance carb mix that actually Natasha herself worked on, and some of the other elite team athletes and coaches from NVDM. And yeah, it's pretty good. So if you guys want to check it out, we do have a discount code NVDM. I'll have it linked in the description of whatever platform you're listening or watching this on, actually. So I'm going to be trying to post this on YouTube as well. Try to figure it out. I've been recording these, so hopefully you guys can watch this if you want to. Yeah, and see our faces, our beautiful faces. But we've been going on for quite some time. So do you guys want to, since we've been speaking of gels and nutrition products and whatnot, move on to the what are we calling this? Gel of the week or in
Yeah.
nutrition product of the week?
Yeah, either of those titles work for this segment. Maybe gel of the week, but
Gel of the week. But it doesn't have to be a gel. So what we
Yeah.
do in this segment is every week, all three of us, we choose one new gel, carb mix, something that we use to fuel ourselves while training, and we talk about it a little bit. We just give you a short little review. So, Sade, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So I didn't really try any new gels since last time I recorded, but I have been trying this Mortal Hydration. So it's like
Oh, how
Lexi.
is that?
So I was drinking the berry one throughout this podcast. It was really good. So this is the margarita flavor. So they come in it's either margarita, berry, or mango. So those are the three base flavors, and they have three more, which are the extra salty versions. So the base flavors are they don't really have a lot of salt in them. I think maybe 250 milligrams of sodium, but they're like delicious. They taste really, really good. And then the saltier versions, they don't taste as great, but they are definitely better for training. So the Mortal Hydration, I've been using like the ones that aren't as salty for like just when I'm sipping around like throughout the day if I want something good to sip on. While I'm training, the Mortal Hydration is still like solid. It's definitely not my favorite, but pretty good.
I remember the first time I ever tried Element, like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I had their what was it, like mango habanero one, I think it was.
Mhm.
It was, I think it was the only time I've ever spit out some like a drink or something. I thought it was so bad. There was that one, and there was one other like spicy one they had.
I
I
like the
thought
other spicy ones.
I thought it was absolutely terrible, but I've grown to like some of the other flavors. But yeah, oh, it was so bad. Um, yeah, luckily or thankfully, the gel that I'm gonna be talking about today wasn't that bad. There's actually a brand that I've gotten on recently, and it's called Torque Gel. I think they're from Europe, but I found them on the feed, and I've had a few other flavors. And man, they've all been really, really good. And the flavor I had this week, so actually I sent a picture to you guys, but I made myself a little strawberry sandwich on the bike. It's something I like doing during intervals. It gives me something to look forward to. So I like eating food as well. So I had a scratch strawberry and mallow Rice Krispie treat, which was pretty good. And then on top of that, I spread a little thin layer of the strawberry yogurt torque gel, and then I made myself kind of an open face sandwich, comprised of a strawberry Rice Krispie treat and a strawberry torque gel. So there you guys go. But yeah, if you guys haven't tried out the torque gels, check them out on the feed. I'll have a link to their website in the description box below as well. But I've been a big fan of. Oh, and I'm gonna be trying. I think they have a caramel macchiato flavor that I'll
Ooh.
be trying next week. I think so. Yeah, looking forward to that. How about you, Mike? What was your? Did you try anything new? Oh, you had the. Actually, I'll let you talk about it.
I actually tried a lot of new stuff, which might have also led to why at like the middle of or a couple minutes into that Alpe to Zwift climb, I was like not feeling it. But tried some good stuff and some not so great stuff. So I'll start with the bad. You can. I know some people like you can, and it's supposed to help them, but it was not for me. The flavor kind of it almost tasted like stale blueberries. Or like, yeah, just like a faint blueberry flavor. And there's no sugar in the gel, so that it was like it has 19 grams of carbs but zero sugar, which is interesting. Um, Definitely won't. I have another one of those, and I don't know when I'm planning to ever use it again. Maybe before like a run sometime. But my favorite one was the Science and Sport Beta Fuel, the unflavored one. On the feed, I did one of the orders of like they did like a packet of like different unflavored gels, and I tend to lean towards the unflavored ones. Just I don't I don't know if like when I race, I just don't really like a strong flavor. I don't mind like just the plain taste of sugar. So that one was really good. And now Seid has been preaching the tutti frutti
Yeah.
science
You
gels.
got,
So I gotta
oh,
try those next.
dude, you
And
gotta get them. They're so good. So good.
how many grams of carbs are in those?
Oh, these are only like 22, so they're not like
Yeah.
great. Like they're not effective, but like I took 9 during my run yesterday. They're just like so tasty. They're like Go-Gurts. They're so good.
Yeah, that I mean that's not bad. At like my go-to gels are usually the Precision Fuel and Hydration. Morton is okay. I think I've had a lot of it over the years and
Yeah.
starting to get tired of the taste and the consistency. But then now I really like those Science and Sport. But then also the BPN Go Gels. I like those because it's like a nice like it's all real food ingredients and it's a nice change of flavor from um just like the thicker unflavored high carb gels.
Have you tried
So
the spring gels? That one's similar to the BPN one.
I
I like the
haven't.
spring gels.
Spring
Those are
gels are really good. They're just expensive. I think they have like, I think they're 75 grams of carbs each too. They just are like pricey, but they're really good. I like those a lot. That one's really, they have like their main one is like the apple flavor, and that one's very similar to the BPN one.
Yeah, BPN just launched their mixed berry gel today, so
Mhm.
I got some of those as soon as they released it.
Nice.
The one issue I have with the SIS gels, the one issue I have with those is that they're too big for me. Like, they take
Yeah,
up.
they're
Yeah,
big. Yeah, they're big and they don't have a lot of carbs in them. I wouldn't like race with them, I don't think, but like for like a snack on the bike, they're delicious. Like if you have unlimited space like next to your bike, I love them for the bike. They're just so good.
have you guys heard about the new Power Bar line that
I
released?
saw Sam Long talk about it. I haven't tried any. I haven't
Like the
heard.
black one, right? It's like the black line or something.
Yeah, the Black Line or Black Label or something like that.
Looks
Frederick
cool.
Funk was talking about it and put up some social media posts. That'll be a cool one. I've only tried one Power Bar gel, and it was pretty good.
I think I tried two. I wasn't the biggest fan, but maybe I just got the wrong flavors. But I do want to try the black line. That looks really cool.
I've tried some that we can talk about in the next episode. Speaking of which, I think we've been going on for almost 45 minutes, and I got to go get in my daily recovery walk. So let me go for a walk. And yeah, if you guys want to continue listening, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be trying to come out with episodes every week or other week. Oh, and speaking of which, I think for the next episode we could do a little Q&A for our 5th podcast episode. How's that sound?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So maybe we can get some questions. Feel free to DM Sade, Mike, or I on Instagram, or I know Spotify has that feature where you can, drop a comment or something like that. So feel free to drop some comments. And yeah, I don't think it'll be a question of if your question gets picked or not. I think it's more of if we get enough. So if you guys ask a question, I think the likelihood of it being answered is relatively high. So yeah, go ahead and do that. And any last words, Mike or Seid?
No, good luck on training this week, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go crush it. Alrighty. We will talk to you guys whenever we record another episode.
See you guys soon.
See ya.
Doing okay. I have to do the dumbest training at work. It's like teaching me how to effectively prompt chat GBT. It's like 10 hours. It's like 10 hours of insane training, like exactly how you want to prompt it and how it's like made and stuff. It's like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Talk to my dad. That's what my dad's learning how to do now.
Yeah. They can know how to do it so well, but they're like so like technical about it. It's so annoying.
How about you, Mike? How are you feeling?
Good, good. Yeah. Long drive the last 2 days, like driving up to Auburn and then driving back. Like wasn't even there for probably like 12, 13 hours.
Why'd you go up there?
Well, I went up to have dinner with my family for my birthday, and then I also had that doctor's appointment that was up there. So I was like,
Oh my.
I kind of like timed it so that it would work that way.
How far is that drive? It's like 2, 3 hours?
5.
Oh shoot. Damn.
Yeah. It's not like a difficult 5. It's just like once you get close to the city, like the last like 30 minutes of the drive can get a little bit stressful with traffic.
Yeah.
But I know the route now, so I don't really have to worry about GPS or anything anymore. I've got it down.
Nice. How's your massage, Parker? How was that? Would you just do the
Dude, so I thought I was so exhausted. It's weird. I feel like on days, well, it's probably because my rest days usually come after like heavy training days, but I'm always so much more exhausted on rest days than I am kind of like when I'm training. And so I was like falling asleep before the massage, and then I go into it, and I haven't had this lady before, but man, she was tough. She was like, and like halfway through the massage, she's like, "Yeah, so my background is trigger point massage." I'm like, "I can tell." She was digging into me, and there's like, oh, everywhere is my calves and my quads and my glutes and everything. And boy, I thought I was gonna fall asleep, man. It woke me up. It did the opposite, but no, it feels good. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, feeling good now. So didn't do anything else today. Went on a few walks, and it's amazing how much time training takes up, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it's like on days like today where I don't have anything. It's like I spent 2, 3 hours this morning on training peaks, actually looking at Mike's training peaks primarily because now that you're not doing Ironman Texas, I started moving some stuff around. So I did that, and then I was up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock this morning. So I did that, and then I filmed a video for 8 Sleep or I finished filming that, the mattress. And then I was like, 10 o'clock, and I didn't have anything till noon. And it's like, what do I do now? And so I just went for a walk, and then I had an ortho or a dentist, and then I had my massage. But I was like, okay, yeah, you're not swimming, biking, and especially swimming. Swimming, just because we gotta drive. And
Yeah, so it takes so much time. I feel like it's like it's like workouts like an hour. It takes like 2.5 hours with like driving back. So
Mhm.
Thankfully, I get to walk to the pool now. So it's only like
Really?
10-minute walk. Yeah, yeah, like the pool is very close to my apartment. And what's also nice is that walk, there's this like big mall that you can either walk through it or walk around it. And I always walk through it because it's covered and it's warm. So it's like you're only outside for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes of the 10 to 12-minute walk. So it's not bad.
yeah, it's convenient.
Is
Fun.
it? And it's a yard pool, right?
It's a yard pool. The only inconvenience is having to share a lane with like 3 to 4 people most of the time.
Have you ever swam in a meter pool?
I haven't, but the gym that I belong to, they have a meter pool on the Upper East Side that we can go to when you visit. So
I swam because when I was in Texas, they used to have a 25. I swim in a 25-meter pool, but I've always wanted to swim in a 50-meter pool.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
brutal.
that's what they've got.
It's brutal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
people
so
always
annoying.
say.
Like, my pool's like they're doing construction because it's so open during COVID. So now like they're replacing like the insulation, like the ceilings like molding and stuff. So now that like they've closed long course until so there's three sections of it. So there's it's 24 lanes. So there's 8 lanes per section. There's three sections. So they close a section per month. So now like long course is just closed until summer, which is so frustrating. So I was gonna do that every Saturday. Now I'm just stuck
That
to
was the
figure
one
out.
you just joined.
Yeah, but it's still like super. It's still so much. It's still so nice though. But
Yeah.
you have to do some stupid like maintenance on it, which because it opened during COVID and everything that opened during COVID has like so many issues. People were saying it's like regulation was like so easy to get through.
That's what Ezra is doing every like Saturday and or Sunday. He'll go up to the Upper East Side and swim long course yards with like the Masters team, or if it's not with the Masters team, it'll be like two or three other people that he knows. And I got to take him up on the offer to join him for that. I think maybe this Saturday. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it before the big bike ride that I've got. Um, make it basically just the whole triathlon that day.
Wait, it's long course yards or
Long course meters. So it's
okay?
50-meter. Yeah.
Yeah, you said yards. And I was like, they make 50-yard pool. That's crazy. Yeah, I did the long course twice and it's so much harder. It's insane.
Yeah.
So long.
Wasn't that part of the Australian method that Ari was talking about? You have to swim in long course meters.
Yeah.
That's all he swims in. Yeah.
He said the Australians or some people say you can't improve in your swimming if you're not swimming long course, but I kind of disagree with that. Just knowing like Allison's background of like almost always doing short course and being insanely fast. So I don't know.
Yeah.